What it is, y'all, it is your old boy Pilk, and I had planned to bring you guys a video tonight on Heroic Trial. Do not forget that that is actually running out this Wednesday. Just a little advertisement for it here. This Heroic Trial is expiring on Wednesday. So do not forget to do this. Remember, that's a free bond for one of these two units. And even if you don't have that unit, then that is actually, I think there's an assist in there too. Yeah. So one of these units, the Hephaestus is amazing, actually. That's the bond I would actually recommend getting above and beyond anybody else. It's not a hard fight by any stretch of the imagination. I'll try to bring it back and cover it tomorrow. Just understand that it is going away, and it will take some time to accrue all 600 of these Jade Lights. So make sure you take advantage of that. That was going to be tonight's video, but I looked at the timeline and I thought to myself, we should probably finish up Grand War first. So let's go ahead and plop in here and talk about the second team of the two I was talking about today that really just, of these two teams, you can take out just about anything in here alone. Now, if we're talking about teams, I did say the light team was the other team that I think is just phenomenal. And in fact, this team, I would argue, is even stronger. This team is ridiculous. But I'm going to prove it in a way kind of like we proved the worth of the water team. The light team is grotesque in the way it works. Now, I did make one minor adjustment for this, but let's go take out 112. That's right, 112 is a wind level. I'm going to S-clear this with the light team. Now, one minor exception that I made here is I actually added Water Reveria to the end. Why would and I actually have Yuri here to reduce the guard rate. But why did I do this? Well, very simply put, because this unit is particularly weak to magic units, so having the physical light on there really wasn't doing me any good. Plus, she gets 100% SA gauge charge. So if I throw Finn on here for the 33% along with Line in the very front, and then bring the last two units that get literally a 200% charge per turn, we can get fast and crazy SAs. And even though, I will emphasize, even though this team really is not intended to do what it does here, it will hold its own very, very, very easily. So we're going to come out of the gate with a big debuff. Now understand, immediately, this dude is weak to magic units. Not quite resistant to physical, but physical is 0, where magic is minus 40. And of course, we've debuffed that down another 20 to level to minus 60. Now, light, here's the fun part. Light is up 30. Light is up 30%. So this is literally a bad fight for our light team. Another reason why I took the physical unit off, because we'd be fighting uphill both ways rather than just one way. So we're going to have to do a lot of work with our debuffs, okay? So I'm going to come out of the gate with a debuff here on the outgoing damage because he's going to hit hard. So we're going to debuff outgoing damage. We're going to buff our two main units, and we're going to buff the 33% SA gauge charge. This is going to be really, really, really important. You need to pay close attention to the SA charge because that is how we're going to beat this. We're literally just going to cheese the SA charge. Now, I'm going to go ahead and do Yosuga, and I'm going to go ahead and do Cicada Shell here for the single target damage increase. And I'm going to go ahead and debuff Light and Magic one more time. And Yuri is going to debuff Guard Rate. Now, he's also going to debuff Physical, but we're not worried about that. We're worried about or actually, he doesn't debuff Physical. I think Yuri actually debuffs Earth. Doesn't matter, also debuffs Guard Rate. And that Guard Rate down is going to help us get a tiny bit extra damage. Now, turn 3, I'm going to go ahead and do Sheikah because the critical and penetration rate is going to be really, counter and penetration rate is going to be really, really, really important to getting long-term damage out of us. Now, we're going to go ahead and do Mayfly and Memorial Strike one more time. And we're going to go ahead and buff the 100% SA gauge charge with Riv. Now, Riv's damage isn't the most important thing here, and you'll notice she isn't actually supported or really buffed by the team at all. She's kind of holding her own. She really is just here for the SA gauge charge. That is really it. She is a special attack machine. Okay? Now, if you're familiar with how Lina works, the Lina unit here, as soon as you use her, she removes her magic buff. So I'm going to have to go back here and rebuff her magic. Other than that, we're going to just continue the buff stack with her and go back to do Yosuga with Haruhime so that we can just basically replicate all our buffs and debuffs. Bam. There we go. Other than that, we're not really concerned at all. We already have a double SA. So, spoiler alert, turn 7 is going to be a ton of fun. Now, I'm going to go ahead and continue on with this main stack. I'm going to go back and do Memorial Strike one more time. Now, we're going to do Piercing Chill on this turn with Riverian. That's going to be her big hit. Now, remember, she gets a double hit. So, on the next turn, we're going to have to rebuff that. The double hit isn't the end of the world, but as you can see there, she is hitting well, and she's doing, you know, some damage to help chip away at that. So we're going to have to rebuff that, and we're once again going to have to double tap to rebuff the magic attack. Now, if you're following along, you'll know that probably what I should have done with Lena that I didn't do, I should have duplicated her skill 2 on one of the early turns, because as I'm buffing her here, she's not getting an insane amount out of that, honestly. But neither here nor there. Now, I'm going to go ahead and do our triple SA. Bam. We're going to go back. We're going to do a triple SA with the first 3. We're going to do our main attack here with Riv. And this is when we really... This is like the turning point in the match. Like, the match was kind of going okay up to this point. This is it. This is the moment that really decided the match more than anything else. Okay. And that's another reason why I say the SA gauge charge is so important. Now notice he's got a little more than half health. He's got a good amount of health here. 1.7. Actually, I was expecting a bit more out of her. She did not produce along the lines that I had actually expected in that one, but it's fine. It's a thing. It's RNG. $2.6 mil. Now that's some damage. Their combo attack really ain't nothing to write home about, so we're going to skip it. And it's just a little bit of damage. Now, Riveria has the 100% buff too, but once again, she's not going to produce crazy damage. She's just going to help kind of chip away at what's left of him. Now, remember, on this turn, we're 100% strength, 100% magic. Everybody's magic here anyway. So we're 100% magic, so we're going to go ahead and do Mayfly. That's going to be a big hit, and we're going to do Memorial Strike, which, if you remember, will remove the magic buff, but it's not going to be that big of a deal. It really ain't going to be that big of a deal. If he doesn't die in this turn, he's gone next turn. And there you go. Turn 8, not even turn 9. This is how powerful the light team is in the game right now. Turn 8. No Ogre Killers. Was resistant to light by 30% at the start of the match. We did use magic because, frankly, if we used physical, we'd be way out of our depth on this one. But the magic light team is the strongest team, period, end of discussion. We went into this match that this team had no business going into, and we wrecked it. Absolutely dominated. Now, I'm not saying this team can take on 113. In fact, I would be shocked because we need a more defensive strategy for 113. I'll build my team tonight. I'll upload it in the morning. We'll talk about 113, how to S-clear that. That one is far more complicated and definitely a very interesting run with a lot of rules. But that's the light team, y'all. I'll go back and showcase the team. Now, the base team, and once again, this is my modified team with Riveria and Yuri, but the base team that I used for literally everything else is this team right here. Really phenomenal team. It has not... Basically, anything that I didn't throw water at, I threw this at. And one of the two took everything down within 9 turns. Absolutely great. So, go ahead, and the only reason this team didn't actually do it, this team did it in 10 turns. So, I just had to get the extra SA gauge charge. And that's why we did the little tiny modification to the other team. And yes, that does mean that probably if I threw that team at these events, it would probably help out a bit. But I'm going to be honest, with everything else, Kitty Cat really came in handy, especially with some of the units that do strength and magic buffing, and her removal of that. So, between this and water, if you could build these two teams, or even either one of these teams, you're going to be in absolutely spectacular shape. These are the only two teams you need to basically clear everything up to 113. So if you can, guys, before Grand War ends, if you can build anything even remotely close to this, go give it a shot. Let me know what kind of success you saw in this. Now, I will also say I never ran anything too crazy on this team. I only ran stun anklets, because I believe there was one of the events that stunned. I think it was actually the early dragon that stunned. Other than that, I didn't really change it up. I used stun anklets even when stun wasn't the main ailment. I think stun and poison are the only two ailments here. I could be wrong in that, but I believe that was the case. So, yeah. I never really worried about poison. I let the water team just tank poison, and then we use stun anklets for everything else. So, guys, go build your badass teams. Go get you guys these rewards. I'm going to be back at you guys in the morning with the S-Clear for 113. We're going to talk about that. That one is going to be a tough one. It may not be in the realm of possibility for everybody, but I will try to build you the team and show you how it is possible, and then we'll talk about the rewards and all that stuff. For now, that's going to be the video. Like, comment, and share. I'm going to be back at you guys with more Danmachi here, and we have some news tomorrow too, so make sure you sub. We'll be back at you guys with the news, and then we'll talk about the S-Clear after that.